Solving multi-step equations, lesson 8 notes. Example number 3. All right, so we talked about the LCD or the LCM, and we know that in order to get rid of the fractions here, we have to multiply every single term by the LCD. So let's look at example 1. My denominators are 5, 10, and 2. So the first question we ask are, do the smaller numbers divide into the larger number? Does 5 divide into 10? Yes, it does. Does 2 divide into 10? Yes, it does. Therefore, that means 10 is our LCM, or our LCD. So our least common denominator is 10. Write that down. Now, we're going to multiply every single term times 10. So we're going to take 1D times 10. We're going to take 3/5 times 10. We're going to take 9/10 times 10. 3D times 10, and 1/2 times 10. So 10 times 1D would be 10D. 10 times 1 is 10. 10 times 3/5. You would use your calculator to do this. So let's pull up our calculator. So I would take 10 times 3/5. 10 times 3/5 is 6. So I would have plus 6. Then I would take 10 times 9/10. That is 9. And then don't forget the D. All right. On the other side of the equation, I'm taking 10 times 3D. 10 times 3 would be 30D. And then last, 10 times 1/2, or half of 10. What's half of 10? That would be 5. So it's going to be minus 5. The signs don't change. You could actually ignore the signs on this first step and not change them. Just bring them down. All right, I'm just moving this over a little bit. There we go. So we have 10D plus 6 plus 9D equals 3D minus 5. So once you've gotten rid of the fractions, that's like doing the distributive property. I distributed 10 times each of the terms. So now we're going to do the combining like terms step. So I have 10D and 9D. On the left side, it's just 30D and negative 5. So there's nothing to combine on the right side. All right, 10 plus 9 is 19D. Bring down the plus 6. Bring down the 30D minus 5. All right, so now we are on, so this right here, this is like the distributive property. What we did here is combining like terms. That was the second step of multi-step equations. And now we're going to take our variable term to the left. So I'm going to subtract 30D from both sides. And I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. So that allows me to cancel that. It allows me to cancel that. So what do I have left? 19 minus 30 would be negative 11D. Negative 5 minus 6 would be negative 11. Isolate the variables to divide both sides by negative 11. Any number divided by itself is 1. So D equals 1. So I multiplied every term by the LCD, the LCM of the denominators. Then I combined like terms. Then I took my variable terms to one side, my constant terms to the other side. It's not wanting to work for me. I don't know why it does that. There we go, finally. And then after I got my variable terms on one side, my constant terms on the other side, I divided to isolate the variable. If you have any questions on that, please let me know. All right, let's go to B. We have to figure out our LCD. We've got 10 and 5. Does 5 divide into 10? Yes, it does. Since 5 divides into 10, our LCD is 10. So I'm going to multiply. I'm going to distribute 10. Everything's getting multiplied by 10. Ten times 1/10. Let's bring out our calculator again. 10 times 1/10 is 1. So this would be, sorry about that. This would be 1R. And though I just do it in my head, I divide by the denominator and then multiply by the numerator. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So that's 1R. And then 10 times 2 would give me positive 20. 10 times 1/5. Well, 10 divided by 5 is 2, and 2 times 1 would be 2R. Now, I can do that in my head. I understand that you might not be able to do that. And if you can't, then please feel free to take 10 times 1/5 in your calculator, and you get 2. So this would be 2R. 10 times -3 would be -30. All right. Step 2 is to combine like terms. Well, I've got 1R on this side and a positive 20. 2R on this side and a -30. Do I have any like terms to combine? No, I don't. So that actually makes this problem a little bit easier. So I'm going to take my variable term to the right. So I'm going to subtract 2R from both sides. And I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides. Why am I doing that? Because I want to take my constant to the right. So variable term to the left, constant term to the right. So these will cancel. Sorry. And these will cancel. So 1R minus 2R would be -1R. -30 minus 20 is -50. Please use your calculators. All right, last step is to isolate the variable. So I'm going to divide both sides by -1. Cancel my -1s, and I get R equals 50. -50 divided by -1 is positive 50. All right. So that is A and B. I'm going to stop the video here. I'll do C and D in a separate video. Please make sure you have everything written down. And if you have, I get these could be confusing. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask.